you join me? Please lift up.
Thank you, Sanja. What a job you have done. Rani Puranik is a member of the Houston World Affairs Council Board of Directors. She is co-owner, executive vice president, and global chief financial officer of Worldwide Oilfield Machine. Rani's been serving as a member of the executive committee of her firm since 2007. She's also director and international program lead of the Puranik Foundation, where she's committed to helping educate children and young adults. Her book, 7 Letters to My Daughter, Light Lessons of Love, Leadership, and Legacy, is expected in the end of next month. Rani, thank you for being here, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you very much, Kit. And thank you all for being here. What a lovely, lovely bunch of ladies and men. Yes, I recognize you as well. But again, thank you. Yes, my name is Rani Puranik, and I'm just so delighted to share some of my thoughts, experiences with you this afternoon. So there's a popular science, and the popular science says is that our cells regenerate every 7 years. Imagine that, which means that technically, every 7 years, we are a new person. Right? I mean, forget about what happened 30 years ago. Hey, I'm at 50, I'm doing pretty good. But literally, every 7 years, we have a chance, let's say, to be born again or to have a different personality, to understand who we are. So when I took a look at my years down the road, I literally was able to divide my life into 7-year chunks. Every 7 years was a different role that I played. And I'm going to actually ask you here in the audience, think about how many years you've lived on this planet and see what cycle of that 7 you are in. Maybe you're 7 times 1 is 7. Maybe not. You guys look a little older than 7. But let's say that you're times 2, times 3, times 4, whatever that is. Just kind of, build the math inside your head if you can and just see where you're at. So for me, my first 7 years was a girl. I thought I was a daughter, but actually I was a girl. I'm the firstborn in an Indian family, born in India, which means that firstborns typically are supposed to be sons. That's just how it goes. So you come into the world saying, oh, wait a second, you're quite not good enough right now. Okay, so that's a label, and with that label comes a whole bunch of lessons that if we are willing to learn them, we can really start to grow from them. Now, at the age of 0 to 7, do we know those are lessons? No, we don't even know those are called tests or anything like that. You just kind of figure it out as you go. The second 7 years of my life was I was a sister, which meant that all of a sudden I had siblings. I was a part of a team. I wasn't a single child anymore. The third sort of 7 years of my life, I was a lady. You know what it is to be a lady? You're not quite a girl, not quite a woman. You're kind of like in Twilight Zone. Really don't know what's going on. So right in between. So such and such 7 years pass. But I can tell you one thing. Within all the 7 years, there was one thing that I kept chasing after, was that feeling of happy. What does happiness even mean? How do I feel happy? Because for me, if I was happy, like feeling light-footed, yeah, no, right? Carefree, that meant that I felt carefree in the sense free. I felt freedom. If I was happy, I felt free. So for me, I wanted that taste of happy. And let me tell you, I didn't just run after happy. I was like hunting it down. But I was looking in the wrong places because I'll ask you this question. There's a basis to being happy. There's a basic core fundamental that has to be complete to be happy. I'm going to ask around the room. Mindful moment. What do you think that would be? Anybody? Sorry? Love yourself? Success? Fulfillment? Being yourself? Moonlight? Okay, I'll take it. Connected. All these answers are beautiful, beautiful, and absolutely to your point, to everyone's point, is to being satisfied. If you're satisfied, if I am satisfied, I am one step to being happy. But if I'm not satisfied right here, I can pretend to be happy, because as long as my parents are happy, I guess I'm happy. As long as my husband's happy, I guess I'm happy. As long as my kids are dancing and singing and, getting their awards, I guess I'm happy. Sure. But am I satisfied? Do I feel fulfilled? So that was the basis which I really, really missed throughout my journey. I was chasing for happy, which I thought was happy, but eventually I had to figure it out, which is this. To be satisfied, that first step for me, and eventually that gold medal that I was seeking, freedom, was kind of bundled together into 3 steps, 3 areas of my life that I had to understand really and truly what it meant. The first one is love. And I know love is like, whoa, wait a second, mushy love. I'm not talking about lust. I'm not talking about infatuation. I'm talking about love. Love in its absolute pure form. So here again, mindful moment. I believe everyone has like something to write on. So if you don't feel like, speaking up or whatever, please use this moment for you yourself to write the word down. For you, what does love even mean? What does it encompass for yourself? And then, of course, I'm going to ask someone to answer these questions, right? So take a second. When I say love, really and truly love, what does that mean to this room? Anyone, just call it out. Sure?
For me, it's unconditional love. I'm thinking love, I'm thinking my kids. It's unconditional.
Unconditional. He's thinking about his kids. Perfect. Something you're doing, action for the good of others. Act of devotion, beautiful.
Respect, integrity, and generosity of spirit.
Beautiful, he said. I hope you all heard that. Openness. Joy. Care. Longing. Did you say longing? Belonging. Uh-huh. Selflessness. Energy. All right, all these answers, right? Again, you have a notebook in front of you, so your answer will be unique to you, for sure. What I do also understand about love is that, yes, everything that you guys said here, it is not just a give, but it's also receive. It's actually a receive first and then a give. Can you imagine when we are babies, toddlers, either you've had a child or you've seen a child being born, right? Or you watch it on movies. The first thing that child does, do you really think that child gives love? It's crying, it's wailing, going, keep me back inside. No. In all honesty, it's receiving. The mother, the father, the nurses, the doctor, all of the people around are actually showing and showering love to this baby. The baby, all of us, human beings, first breath, we are receiving first. And we forget that. We are actually receiving first, and then we have the ability to give. So love is a receive and a give. Love is also when we hear people. We love to talk. We're women, we love to talk. It's either right or it's a different right. It's always right, okay? So we love to talk. But the beauty of love is we have to hear and speak. So receive and give. So when I'm talking about these sort of interactions, right? So I need somebody else to love. I cannot just sit in one corner and say, I love. Yeah, I love. Okay, yeah, but what? Love needs something else to bounce off of. Love is actually like a play. There's a play, there's an interaction, there's a give and receive. There's a hear and listen, there's a speak. There's a sharing, there's a camaraderie. That's where love is. Love is actually a play. When we are loving, no matter in which situation we are, we feel light. We feel like we're floating. It's happy, right? When you say that you're love or you're playing around, you're not sad, depressed, heavy, sitting in one corner. Right? No one has to pick you up from being love. You're already there. Love is a two-way, and like someone said in the room, it's energy. It's being transformed from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So you need that sort of camaraderie. You need that other person to reflect off of, because love is not depletion. Love is not sacrifice. If you're only giving, you're sacrificing. It's not love. Remember to receive. So that was the first one that I really and truly stuck to me. What is love? And that is play. We need to be playful. I heard a science review just recently. This generation does not know how to play. It doesn't go outside. When I was growing up, we came home from school, dropped our backpacks at the door, ran out to play, and by the time it was sunset, somehow my parents were like, get inside, it's dinner time. That was play. Play instigates learning. That was the whole research. When we play, we learn. We learn what to say, what not to say, how to, lead, how not to lead. What are the rules, and how can I maybe build my own rules, bend the rules, what's okay? Play is actually an exchange of love, because I'm listening, I'm giving, I'm sharing, all of that. So we're missing the component of playfulness. So my whole thought now is we need to be playful in everything that we do, no matter how serious the situation. Let's be playful. Let's understand and be aware, be mindful that there are other things, other people, and other situations around us. Be playful. When I'm being playful, guess what happens? I start to develop a characteristic. I start to develop a personality. How do I show up? Am I mean to you? Am I bullying you? Am I kind? Am I nice? Am I empathetic? Am I generous? Do I just not like you because of whatever reasons? Do I really like you because of whatever reasons? I start to show up when I start to play. And in that playing, I start to discover what we call, how do I lead? How am I showing up? How am I leading? What are my leadership skills? Remember, we're not a leader unless we're within a group of people. We always say that you're a leader only when somebody follows. Otherwise, you're just nothing else. You're just hanging out there. There's a really famous quote, by the way, Winnie the Pooh, yes, Zen master of all times. Very famous quote by Winnie the Pooh. He says, "Do not walk in front of me, because I may not follow. Do not walk behind me, because I may not lead. But walk beside me, and let's journey together. Walk beside me, and let's journey together." How do we show up as leaders? And if I really, really have to boil it down as to what leadership is, when I say how do you show up, let me tell you a quick story. I went to Mount Everest last May, climbed it, and I was at 5,000 feet above sea level, and imagine this. You're in the Himalayas in Nepal, 5,000 feet, massively tall Himalayan mountains, okay, like rugged, snow-capped, just absolutely exquisite. I'm at the edge of a ridge, right at the edge, and I'm looking down, and all I see is valley and white water, just fast cutting through the edges of this rock. It's just water. And then I look up, there's this eagle, solo eagle, wings spread, flying like a king or a queen of the sky. For me, I got overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like a whole bag of emotions. I felt overwhelmed. I felt like laughing. I felt like just staring in awe. I wanted to, just a whole bag of emotions. And the first word that came to me was, wow, this is so powerful. This is so powerful. And then I asked myself, what is power? Because, again, all of us come from a business world. We talk about this all the time. We're in a boardroom, and someone walks in. Oh, that's a powerful person. All right, well, what does power mean? We talk about companies. Oh, hey, wait a second. That is a powerful company. All right, well, what does that mean? What does power mean? So I started asking on those 8 days. Every time I stopped at a lodge, I was like, hey, folks, just checking on you. What does power mean to you? They're like, oh, I don't know. So that's the question. That's the question for you guys. What does power mean to you? I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to kind of skip to it, but you want to write down what does power mean to you. At the end of it, I had asked 35 different people, and I got a whole bunch of answers. The top 3 were this. Power is the ability to positively impact something or someone. Second answer I got was power is energy. And the third one, the answer that I got was power is the ability to understand what your potential is, but that you haven't reached it yet. Okay? I boiled those three answers into one word that I thought made a lot of sense, and that epiphany came to me at the last day, which is this: power is authenticity. Authenticity. You show up as you are, not to compete, not out of fear, not out of guilt, shame, none of it. You just show up. The mountains have no idea that they are powerful. The mountains are just a bunch of rock and dust and dirt, and that's it. The water, no idea it's powerful. It just shows up, has no idea it's cutting through the edges. No idea, it just shows up. Your power and the way you lead is in your authenticity. The power and the way you lead is in your authenticity. And the way to discover your authenticity is to play, is to love, is to understand who you are in the context of others as well. So because I have now run out of time, there's a third element which is part of the book, which is legacy. In short, legacy is the ability, not just the ability, legacy happens automatically without us knowing it. As soon as you impact someone in some shape or form, that is the start of your legacy. But here's the little key to freedom. Legacy at the end, you'll realize it has nothing to do with your personality or personal issues or where you are, because that's already been dealt with, right? You figured out your personality through love, through your leadership, so what's left? If it's not personal, it's purpose. It's purpose. That's what's left. When you figure out your purpose, again, I'm really wrapping this up super quick because I know that I'm being stared at. As soon as you find your purpose, that is building on what we would say is satisfying us as individuals. When we find purpose, that is going to satisfy what we do, why we do. Every decision and choice I make is going to be meaningful because I say, hey, if I make this choice, this is towards my purpose, nothing personal. I got that down. But then I know how I'm establishing my legacy and not doing it blindly. But for me to have that, I need to know what and understand what love is, understand what leadership is, so that my legacy really and truly has that meaning. And once I find purpose, once I understand purpose, going back to the beginning, I'm satisfied. And if I'm satisfied, I'm happy. And once I'm happy, I'm free. Right? Thank you.